The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hi all, today I am back with another chapter from the second unit. So this is a poem and it is titled as Blowing in the Wind. Okay, it is written by Bob Dylan. So I told you in the beginning before starting this unit that this unit deals with film making. So in the first chapter you have seen how the shooting is held and what all difficulties the film crew has to face to shoot a scene in a particular spot where they decide, right? And in the second chapter you saw how script writing is made. Now in this chapter you are going to see how the lyrics and songs are made. Okay, now film is something which shows the reality of life. It is always like that. What we see in our society, the director through his eye, he depicts what is happening in the society through a film. So here it's in our hand that how we understand or how with a good perspective or with our intellect we understand the story of the film and how we can mold ourselves to be a good human being. Okay, while watching a film, we should understand the bad and good deeds which is happening in the society and how we can mold ourselves to be a good personality or a good human being. That's what films shows us or films make us understand. So here in this poem, this is a poem which is written in 1960 when racism was prevailing in America. Okay, there were discrimination between black people and white people. This all you might have learnt in detail in your history class. So at that time, Bob Dylan has written this poem and it is a protest song that raises rhetorical questions about peace, love and freedom. Bob Dylan believes that the answers for all these rhetorical questions are there in the minds of people, but they pretend to be not understanding or they pretend that it doesn't bother them. Okay, that's why I told that when we watch a film, we should understand the good things or we should have the ability to discriminate between good and bad. Then only we will be able to mold ourselves to be a good human being. Right children? Now let's get into this poem. What is a rhetorical question? Rhetorical questions are asked in this poem, which means that everyone knows the answers for this question. For example, if I ask you, can a fish swim? You know that the fish can swim, isn't it? Fishes are seen in water and they are supposed to swim. But again, why do I ask such a question to you? Can the birds fly? This is also a rhetorical question. Okay, that means the answers are known to everyone, but we pretend that we don't know the answer for it. So these are said to be rhetorical questions. Here the poet raises rhetorical questions to the public or to the people, because everyone know the answers of this very well, very clearly, but they pretend that they are not bothered about it or they don't know the answer. So that's why it is said to be rhetorical questions. Right, children? I hope it is clear for you. Now let's get into the poem. So before I read this poem, let me give a piece of information to you that this poem has been selected for Grammy Award in 1994. What is a Grammy Award? It is the award presented for the best contribution or the best song by the Recording Academy, and the award depicts a gramophone. Like for Oscar Award, you might have seen it will be the award depicts a lady, isn't it? So here the award, Grammy Award, depicts a gramophone. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Now let me read the poem. Blowing in the Wind. Like cinema, songs in the music albums are also very popular as they are rendered as audio-visual treats. Here is a song written by Bob Dylan, one of the prominent musicians of United States of America. This song has been described as an anthem of the 1960s civil rights movement. So you might have studied about civil rights movement. Do you remember you have studied a lesson about Rosa Parks in 8th standard? Do you remember that? That was also a civil movement where you can see the discrimination between black and white was shown. Okay, and with the help of Rosa Parks, they were able to achieve their right. I hope you remember that lesson which you have learned in 8th standard. So same way here, while those discrimination was prevailing in the society about racism, Bob Dylan has written this poem. Okay, so here are the lines of it. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they are forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they are allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many years must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. This is the poem. I hope you might have got a small idea on what the poem says about. Okay, children? So let's learn it in detail. You can see, how many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? Here roads has two meanings. Okay, the experiences which man has in his life. So how many experience do people need to become a man, to become a human, to inculcate humanity in them? Okay, and it can be also the sufferings or pains. How many sufferings and pains should a man undergo to understand what is humanity? That is a question asked by Bob Dylan. It is a rhetorical question. Now, how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many seas must a white dove, white dove symbolizes peace. So here, how many seas, how many voyaging must a white dove do to spread peace all over the world? This is again another question asked by the poet. How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Before she sleeps in the sand means how many experiences does a man undergo to become a human, or how many experiences, how many times must the white dove sail upon the seas to spread the message of peace and equality among the people or in the world before the man or before the dove sleeps. Sleeps means before the death of a man. Next line. Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they are forever banned? Here cannonballs depicts war. Okay. How many wars must occur before these cannonballs are banned? Before we say that we ban the war. Okay. So here in the first stanza you can see the poet is asking 3 rhetorical questions. Okay, how many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? First question. Second question, how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? That is the second question. And the third one, yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they are forever banned? Okay, these are the 3 questions, rhetorical questions asked by the poet in the first stanza. Now, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. See, wind blows everywhere. We cannot discriminate the powers which nature has. Okay, the same wind is inhaled and exhaled by all people, all human beings in this world. We cannot fight for wind, water or anything which prevails in the nature, right? So we cannot say that this part of the air is for white people or this part of the air is for black people. Can we say like that? No. The air, water and the natural things or natural beauty of nature is enjoyed and used by all the people in the same way. Okay, and the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Wind blows everywhere. So the answer is there for all these rhetorical questions asked by the poet everywhere in the world. Okay, but people pretend that they are not bothered about such things or they don't know the answer for it. Then, yes, and how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? Here, mountain represents the ego, pride of white people. Okay, so how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? How many years can a mountain exist means how many years can the ego and pride of white people can exist before it is washed away to the sea. When it is washed away to the sea, everything get dissolved in sea, right? So it is how many years would it take for the ruling people, the rulers of the country to understand that their ego get dissolved in the sea or get washed away to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they are allowed to be free? People here represents the downtrodden people who lacks voice and place in the society. Okay, and how many years will it take for those people before they understand what is freedom? Okay, how many years would it take for this people, this downtrodden people to understand what is freedom? Because of the ego which prevails in the ruling people. Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? And how many times can a man represents here the ruling people again. Okay, so how many times can a man turn his head? How many times can the ruling people or the ruler can turn his head and pretend that they doesn't see anything? Okay, that is what. Again, you can see in the second stanza, there are 3 rhetorical questions. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Answers for all these questions are blowing everywhere in the wind, but people pretend to be not knowing it. Then next stanza. Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? How many times must a man look up? Here again, the man represents the black people or the people who are suppressed and oppressed. Okay, so those people, how many times they must look up to know before he can see the sky? Before he can see the sky means sky is the limit. We used to say that, isn't it? So sky represents here freedom. So how many times must a man look up to understand what is freedom? Yes, and how many years must one man have before he can hear people cry? How many years should the ruling people have or the ruler have to understand the sufferings of the black people? Okay, how many years must one man have before he can hear people cry? How many years should they need to know the sufferings and the pain which the people have in his country? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? How many people should die? Then the ruler may understand that these many have died in his country. Okay, so how many deaths must follow to make the ruler understand, or just it can be taken as how many deaths, how many pains, how many sufferings should the ruler know to understand the sufferings of the people in his country, or to just become a human, or to inculcate humanity in the ruler's mind. How many deaths, how many pains and sufferings of the people should they know? Okay, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. So, answer is blowing everywhere in the wind. So, in this poem, you can see that total there are 9 rhetorical questions, and here the poet is saying that the answer is blowing in the wind. The wind is described as impenetrably ambiguous, which means the answer is very obvious, and it is right in your face, or it is intangible as a wind. The lines, the answer is blowing in the wind, is a refrain, because we have to give, when we read the poem or when we understand the poem, we give more importance to that line which is asked by the poet, or the poet means that people should focus on to that line more, because it is very clear that we know the answers of all the rhetorical questions very clearly. It's on our face, but we pretend to be not knowing it. Okay. In this poem you have 7 questions which you have to write in your file immediately when you see this video. Okay, and the answers for all these questions I have said in the explanation part. So do watch the video very clearly and you can answer the questions. With that, I conclude this session and see you in the next class. Bye.